Perception, way to understand the world. From this video, we'll be starting a new topic called perception. It is a big topic and it will take next few videos to complete this topic. But in this video, we'll be starting this topic. The first subtopic is perception, way to understand the world. What exactly is the definition of perception? Perception is a process of selecting, organizing, and interpreting the sensory information based on previous experience, others' experiences, need, or expectation. This is the definition. Now, what three key points have you taken from this definition, which is selecting, organizing, and interpreting? These are the three steps involved in the process of perception. The process of perception involves three steps when it encounters stimuli: selection, organization, and interpretation. Now, let's see uh, what exactly selection, organization, and interpretation is. These are stages of perception. Stage 1: selection. The first stage of perception is selection. Since our brain has limited capacity, therefore it cannot attend to all stimuli. Now, for example, if I told you to go into a room and when you came back, I asked you about to imagine what you saw in that room, to imagine the whole room with complete accuracy, to imagine everything in that room. You won't be able to, right? Because your mind has limited capacity. Therefore, it cannot attend to all stimuli. But your mind collects some stimuli and ignores others. Selected stimulus becomes attended stimulus. Now, whatever stimulus you have selected, it becomes attended stimulus. For example, if I were to give you an example, the best example is a person crossing a road. Now, in that, what is the stimuli he selects? He selects the moving cars, moving people, and traffic signal. Right, this is the selected stimuli, but he ignores other stimuli such as the number of trees, number of birds, sky, and all those things which are not going to affect anything. So this is so he selected some stimuli and ignored the others. Stage 2: organization. Now before going to stage 2, let me show you two images. Now the first image, now what do you see in these two images? The first image is a rabbit duck illusion and the second image is a human face and a vase illusion. In the first image, some of you might have seen a rabbit, some of you might have seen a duck. In the second image, some of you might have seen a human face, some of you might have seen a vase. Why am I showing you these images? It is because your interpretation of these two figures depends on your organization of information. Now the interpretation of these two figures, for you, it depends on your organization of the information which you have gathered. And in turn, information, the organization of information, it depends on your attention. Now this organization of information, it depends on your uh, attention. What have you seen? For example, if you take the second image, some of you might have focused on the black part, so you saw a human face, and some of you might have focused on the white part, and you might have seen a vase. Now let's see stage 2: organization. In this stage, stimuli are arranged mentally in a meaningful pattern. This process occurs unconsciously. Now, by name you understand. Organization means organizing something. Now, in this, the stimuli which you selected is arranged mentally in a meaningful pattern. Now, interpretation. What happens in interpretation? This organized stimuli, which you have organized in a meaningful pattern, is meaning is assigned to that organized stimuli. In this last stage, meaning is assigned to the organized stimuli. Interpretation of stimuli is based on one's experience, expectation, need, belief, and other factors, and many other factors. Now you know what exactly happens in perception. First, you select a stimuli, then you organize it, and then in a meaningful pattern, and then then your mind provides a meaning to it. Now let's see theoretical approaches to perception. There are two theoretical approaches to perception. Now this is something related to theory, so you will have to remember things. The first is bottom-up processing approach. Uh, if you see in this process of perception is direct, and stimuli carry sufficient information to be interpreted meaningfully, and we don't rely on our experiences. J.J. Gibson was one of the strongest advocate of this view. What you have to remember is that it's just these 3 points. What is bottom-up processing approach? It is the process of perception is direct in this, and the stimuli, it carries sufficient information to be interpreted meaningfully. So you don't have to rely on your experiences. And J.J. Gibson, you have to remember the name. He was one of the strongest advocate of this view. Top-down processing approach. In this, everything is opposite. Process of perception is indirect. Stimuli don't have sufficient information to be interpreted meaningfully, and therefore we need to rely on our experiences. Richard Gregory was the strongest advocate of this view. You have to remember the names, right? Sensation. Sensation is the first contact we establish with our physical environment. Sensation can be understood as a process of gathering information about the environment using our senses and then transmitting it to our brain for further process. Now, sensation is the first contact we establish with our physical environment. Yes, it is. Now, sensation is something which is a process of gathering information about environment using your sensory organs and then transmitting it to our brain for further process. Now, what is the process? We will talk about it in the next topic, because the next topic is all about the process of sensation. Just like we saw the stages of perception, there are stages of sensation as well, which we will be seeing in the next video. In this video is just this: the process of perception, which occurs unconsciously, will interpret this sensory information to make a sense of our world. Now, this is all for this video. In the next video, we'll be seeing the process of sensation in depth of how it happens. As we saw, there are three stages. How we and in those three stages, we saw how perception took place by three stages, such as selecting stimuli, then organizing it, and then interpreting it. There are many processes of sensation. There are here also steps such as reception, transduction, and all. Like your mind, it the information which is gathered by your sensory organs, it is then transmitted to electric impulse or the language which your nervous system understands, and then through nerve fibers it is transferred. There's not much in this in that topic, but I will write it down in the next video, and it will be easier for you to understand through a point wise format. Now I will give you some time to take a screenshot of all this. And I guess that is it for this video. Until then, if you want to leave a like, you can leave a like.